Hi, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel Show. It is a show like no other. We have amazing guests, and tonight is absolutely no exception. But we also have weird facts you won't hear anywhere else. We have some business ideas that will make you think maybe there's another way they can make some money. We actually have some stock options. I have things that I hate, and we have all different exciting other things we'll be talking about. And without further ado, I have one of my favorite actors, with all the favorite actors up recently too, a gentleman named Russell Todd, who I had the great pleasure of working with on a podcast, which we'll get to. But I wanted to get his background a little bit and more information. Russell, welcome to the show.
Thanks, bud. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, it is really amazing. And I mean, you've been an actor for quite a while. Can you tell
Yeah.
us about how you got involved and what motivated you in the whole nine yards?
For my entire career, from the beginning.
Yeah, from the beginning when you're like, yeah, we always go to the diapers. I mean, I don't know if you're an actor at that point,
We'll skip through the diapers and grade
but
school. Although I did do grade school and high school plays, so I do remember that. But I began as a model. I was attending Syracuse University. I was studying filmmaking. I always wanted to be a director, actually. And so I went to film school at Syracuse. And while
let
I
me
was
stop you
there,
there for 1 second.
yeah,
People ask me about film school, whether it's worth it, whether it's not. In terms of what you gained, would you say, looking back, that it was really important? You gained so much, or you think you could have done it a different way?
I think it varies. It really depends on the person. For some people, it's fantastic. It gave me a terrific place to get technical knowledge, which was great, and to study the history of film, which was also wonderful. But do you actually need to have that to be a filmmaker? No, because we look at people all the time that go out with an iPhone or any other camera, and they're making movies and they're getting them seen in film festivals and such. So is it required? No. Can it be helpful? I think so. So it can work both ways.
So you
But
go to film school and at Syracuse University, which is again Orangeman. I know I've been. Well, you I went to the college. My sister went there. You have a great, exciting team. It was a
yes,
lot of
very
fun to
much
go to
so.
basketball games. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so much fun. Um, and then, and then you graduate. When you're in college, are you shooting little movies? You putting anything together there?
Yeah, but what's funny is I had made movies since I was like 8 years old, like Steven Spielberg. I started making little animated films at home. I did a Western, which actually won the Kodak um, Young Filmmakers Award,
Wow.
honorable mention actually for that. So I was, very happy with that. But when I got to film school, I wrote a woman, you probably know of her, Verna Fields, who edited Jaws and won the Academy Award for that. And so she
Wow.
edited this picture, and I was comparing myself as a young filmmaker to Steven Spielberg. So who else do I write but Verna Fields, who did Jaws? So I write her, and I send her a little movie that I made, and she writes back. And she actually says, I was impressed with your letter, with, how you're a go-getter, you're very excited about the industry. I liked your movie. I'd love to meet you. I said, really? So I said, would you come to Syracuse and be a guest lecturer? And she said, yes. So she came out, we hit it off. She says, would you like to come to Hollywood? I said, are you kidding me? Uh, you know? So I said, what could I do? She goes, well, just to begin, we can get you, you'll be a tour guide at Universal Studios, which I thought would be wonderful because most tour guides don't get the ability to stay on the lower lot and watch production. You go up and down with the tram and everything, but she gave me the opportunity to go into any sound stage to watch everything being made and for her to be my mentor. Unfortunately, about a year later, she had passed of cancer, and she was a
Oh
terrific
wow.
woman. So that relationship ended, of course, but that really got me going. But I would be on the tram every day, no, most days a week, and people would say to me, "Are you an actor? You should be an actor." And I said, "No, I want to be a filmmaker, a film director." But it kind of put the bug in my head. So I got some photos taken in Los Angeles, and found an agent who would work with new talent, and I started getting some commercials. So I kind of just stayed in that direction.
When you're on this tram ride, you have to be a little bit of an actor, I think, to even that job, because you
Very
got to
much.
wake up and like smile at everybody. And some of the people may not be so delightful to be with. I'm sure that experience wasn't always so good. And
Yeah,
you're in the
no,
rain and everything.
yeah, it's true. It's not always a cheerful experience, and you do have to have, top energy and smiling constantly. And you never knew when there would be like a secret person who'd be on the tram who'd be evaluating you.
So you're on this tram doing this stuff. Tell us, is there any like weird experiences you had with some of these people? Like they were like really like annoying and you had to keep it together, or Anything
Oh.
interesting that happened?
I mean, there were always some annoying tourists we've all been annoying tourists in our lives, but there were always some. But there were funny things that would happen. Like, there's a part where we would take the tram through the section of water and the driver would push a button and it would separate like the Red Sea from the film. So I remember one of the tour guides once said, "Spread 'em red," and was immediately fired because someone was on the train. So that was the end of her tour guide career. And sometimes we'd go by the Psycho House, and people would come out of it and try to scare us, which was also a no-no. They didn't want anything to veer from the memorized script and what was supposed to be done. So it was always fascinating and interesting, but it was a fun job, being young and being at the studio.
I gotta admit, there's got to be a lot of people that lost their cameras, their glasses.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, being scared by someone coming out or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I just because I mean, I just can imagine how much stuff people lose on those rides, even though it's
yeah.
short ride.
There's a
That's
lot
really
of lost
good.
and found stuff.
So now you decide you're going to go into acting because you're really influenced by other people. Now, during this whole time, how's your family reacting to all of a sudden you going through this whole thing? Are they all supportive of you being an actor? Are they quite
Yeah,
practical?
I
Or,
mean, here I am in film school at Syracuse. It wasn't like I'm going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a craftsman or anything. I was going into an industry where your chances of succeeding are not always terrific, of course. But they were always supportive. I was really lucky, bud. They said, whatever makes you happy, do it. And, at first I told them I want to be a film director. Then I veered to the actor, and they said, go for it, give it some time. And if it doesn't work, then, think about an alternative vocation. But,
can people rent your parents? They should be able to rent your parents type thing. That'd be very good. How many people would love to have their parents supportive of? Oh my gosh,
I
what a
know I
good
was
venture that is.
very
That's very
lucky,
nice.
very blessed to have that. They were always in my corner, no matter what. Yeah.
So you start out and you start doing commercials. You said,
Yes.
right? Any
Yeah.
commercials that like stay with us today?
Well, the funniest one was my first commercial, which was for a store. Actually, I think it was back east called Corvettes. Do you remember
Okay.
Corvettes?
Corvettes.
Yeah, which actually stood for three Korean veterans who put that store together. But I had to go in, and in the spot, I instantly, like in a flash, change into some terry shorts and a shirt, and so my legs would be showing. So for the commercial, I went there, but I have a scar just above my left knee, and I didn't want them to see the scar because my pants, I'd be in shorts during the spot. So when I got to the audition, I went into the bathroom and with crazy glue and scissors, and I cut off some hair from my leg and I crazy glued it over the scar, and it looked great. You couldn't see the scar at all. But then I went back in the waiting room, and of course, like most auditions, you're sitting there, and like an hour went by, and they still hadn't called me. Finally, they called me in, and
I gotta interrupt you because as like it happens in when you were doing things would pop out. We have another guest right
yeah,
on the air.
Hi,
Hello, welcome.
Hi, Bud. Hi, Russell. Nice to
hey,
meet
good
you
to see you.
finally. How
Nice
are
to
you
see you
guys?
again. Welcome,
Sorry, I
Good
welcome.
to
was
see
having
you.
some problems with the link. I don't know why.
No problem. We are so happy to see you. We were just talking about how Russell got started in the acting career. Now we're going to put you into the spotlight. If you would like to give us a little background about how you got involved and your background in the whole acting, if you don't mind.
Yeah, one second. I'm just fixing my hair. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so how did you decide you wanted to be an actress? What motivated you when you're younger? Just the beginning when it all started.
Well, I actually have a pretty interesting story. I was born in Mexico, raised in Colombia. I grew up in Colombia. And when I grew up in Colombia, it wasn't like the best to say you wanted to be an actress. I remember seeing Catwoman and I love that character. And I told my mom, like, oh my God, I want to be Catwoman. And my mom is like, yeah, you have to become an actress. It's a fictional character. And I was like, oh, I want to be an actress. And she was like, absolutely not. I come from a doctor's family. I was only
Wait,
like
I'm
8
gonna
years
interrupt you
old.
for a second because you should have had Russell Todd's parents at that point. Go ahead.
There you go. There you go. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I actually studied a business career. I graduated from business school. I specialized in marketing. And I moved to Miami to work for the Colombian government on the investment department. I was a diplomat first. And I love what I did, but I always had like, I think when you're an actor and you're a creator, or even a musician or anybody that feels like appeal to the creative side, it always like it like bugs you when you're not doing it. It's almost like it's a calling. And I was like, no, I mean it's now or never. I have to follow my dreams and I have to do what I want to do. So I started as a model with elite models, and I paid for my acting classes for like 4 years. And then I wanted like my first audition to be very prepared. And then it was for the TV show Ballers with The Rock for HBO, and I booked it. My character name is Michelle on that show. And that's how I got started.
Wow. So you did it. I mean, both of you really had a really good, but you really moved up right pretty quickly, both of you.
Yeah.
You didn't. Russell, by the way, I mean, during that, you're doing the commercials, and then you all of a sudden, do you hit any pitfalls that start happening, or everything's going smoothly along the way, or?
Well, with any actor, it's not always really smooth, but it seemed like, because things were happening, but maybe there were gaps in between. But I always had a
What's like
positive
the longest you went without anything going on in terms of?
3 hours. No, I'm kidding.
I believe it, Russell. I believe it.
No, I mean, no, maybe 6 to 8 months, which was fine. But once it started with He Knows You're Alone, then Friday the 13th, then it kind of continued. And it was, snowballing at that point.
When you had that 6 month drought, are there any doubts? How you getting money coming in? What do you do during that time?
What did I do for money back then? What can I say? I'm kidding. Um, I didn't have, I mean, I think I worked as a waiter in between, like most actors do. And it was fine. I had no problem with that. I also was still doing some modeling, so that was terrific. I was in Milan working. I was still, doing an occasional commercial around in Australia and New Orleans. So I was still doing that, but always looking for a TV series or a feature to really fulfill myself. So, but it all
How
went.
about you? How about you? Did you have any period where, things didn't were slow, or is it like been going
I
bonkers since then?
actually was very lucky. I was patient enough to study for 4 years before doing my first audition because I believe preparation meets opportunity. And then I was very lucky that my first show was Ballers for HBO with The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, because on that time it was such a hit show that really opened the doors for me. And besides, like purely acting, obviously, like voiceover work, modeling work, I think I have a lot of respect for modeling because thanks to modeling, I paid for my acting classes. And let's just say in the moments I wasn't doing a movie or a TV show, I was modeling. And then the past 8 to 9 years of my life, I've been executive producing. I raise money. I do film financing. I raise money for movies. So I
Wow.
started doing that like very young and years ago. I learned that from like The Rock and Mark Wahlberg because I wanted to create and I'm still creating my own opportunities, tell my own stories, and being busy in between sets. And that's how I got busy.
How do you get people to give you money?
I used to work for the Colombian government. I started business, and when I was in the Colombian government, I used to be on the investment department, bringing investors to Colombia. So I think, how Steve Jobs used to say, all the things like connecting the dots, right? Like all the things you study or learn through your life connect somehow. And I think like before I knew the future, right, that I was going to become an executive producer as well, I was like, oh my God, I wish I became an actress younger. I did the business career and then worked for the Colombian government, which was great. But I was wondering, the human brain. I was wondering like what would have happened if I started earlier the acting career. And then now that I'm in the future, I can see that was necessary to have the knowledge to do film financing, to do business, to be an entrepreneur, to have all that background. So it's just everything falls into place when you trust that you are where when you trust that you are where you need to be at that moment.
Yeah.
I was meant to
Russell,
study business before acting. It's just how
and
it was
Russ,
meant to be.
Yeah.
and Russell, you said you originally wanted to be a filmmaker. Have
Yes.
you actually dabbled in actually making the films themselves now, or have you just,
No,
you know,
that stopped after college because I just, the acting took off. So sometimes, when I see a terrific film and I look at the director's work, I think, wow, maybe I should try that. But I'm very happy acting and doing what I'm doing now. So
you've done a lot of you've done a lot of roles in scary movies.
yes, and I've even died the same way twice in two different films, which is interesting. Upside down with a slit throat. I don't
When
know.
people see you, they get a little scared, but you seem like a great person.
You like to get in trouble, Russell. You like to get
Yes,
in
I do.
trouble.
You got to spice
He
it
doesn't
up.
want to have a peaceful drive on the movie or the show. He wants to get in trouble.
Well, this is a film coming out called, well, no, I can't say what happens in that movie, but there's one horror film coming out that I'm in where I actually live. So I'm very
Good.
happy. Yeah, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So
That's
does it
huge.
does it you get typecast into doing horror movies for a while? Is it like you just and does it
Just
bother you if you get does it
Yeah,
break at all?
people would call me in because they had seen me in one of them, and they would say, "Would love you to play this character." I just did one called "If It Bleeds," which just had its first screening the other day, which was terrific. And it's a character I never get to play. I was like the nerdy neighbor, the nosy nerdy neighbor, and it was so much fun. And in that one, I do live, which is great. Uh, but but the director knew me from Friday the 13th Part Two, and he said, "I know this isn't what you typically play, but I think it'd be a nice challenge for you, and I think you can do it." So I was very happy they brought me in for it.
And how about you, Paula? Do you feel like you're playing all different characters, or you seem like they put you in too many typecast roles?
I think at the beginning of my career, and this is 15 years ago, before Hollywood had this transformation to be more inclusive, it was a lot of like the pretty girl who's mean, kind of like, when we think of Megan Fox, that she's sexy and she's mean and she has this demeanor. But I think with the women empowerment, thank God, I now do a lot of women that are strong. I have a lead coming out of a movie and I play an undercover police officer. I do all my stunts. She's super smart. She's the one who solves the cases. So I'm very happy that it has been this shift in the industry that I get to have, and in my career, that I get to have more of these roles. I have a movie on Amazon right now with Martin Cove called Dark Night of the Soul, and I play a paramedic and a wife. And she's also very strong, and she's also the one who convinces her husband to go for certain things that I cannot mention. You have to watch the movie, but she's just a leader. So I'm grateful that it has been a range of many women that are powerful.
And Russell, and both of you, being in the production Seduction, which is coming out, would you like to tell a little bit about your characters and how you saw them betrayed, as you saw them betrayed, and if you could have said something differently in your character's role, what would it be? Let's start with Russell first, and then Paula.
Wow, if I could have said something different. Actually, I never think he
Yeah.
actually said out loud, "Help me," or maybe he did. But here's a guy, Tony, that his marriage is crumbling. He's a daydreamer. Like he's every man. He wants more than he has, and he has all these problems at home. His wife has some mental illness and depression and self-esteem issues, and he's a regular guy that wants to make it work. He truly loves his wife, but what about me? He wants more. And then he has this opportunity for more. Do I take it? Do I not? Am I faithful to my wife?
Don't ruin
Um,
this whole story.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
No
No,
want, they don't want
I
to do
spoilers.
just
it.
made that up.
No spoilers.
But I just thought it was terrific playing Tony because he is every man, and we all have challenges. No one is an angel in the world. We all have our light and our dark sides, and he's struggling. And anyone that's struggling is fascinating to me, and that really made him a character I loved voicing. Yeah.
And how about you, Paula? Would you like to go into your character, and if you could have said maybe something differently about your character, what
Maybe,
would it be? Tell a little
maybe,
bit about it.
maybe it will be you can't escape me. You're mine now. I really enjoyed my character. I grew up very religious. I grew up Catholic. I'm very religious, and I really enjoy my character because, as Russell was saying, we are all human, and we all experience these like little voices in our heads that are like, "Oh God, should I do this? Should I not?" I read a book years ago that really inspired me on my craft. It's called Satan. It has a very interesting title, but it's talking about how hell and heaven don't quite exist. It's not like a guy with horns, right? It's more like our state of mind and the voices we have in our heads. And I really enjoy, and I'm going to say like the minimum because I don't want to give it away, but I really enjoy being a persuasive person, and I really enjoy being that temptation, and I really enjoy being that voice in your head that makes you crazy, because I think every human can relate to that. And I think the beauty of acting is no matter what part of the world you are, you can relate to this. And I really like my character because we have all had a Maria in our lives. Men, women, like it's just that voice, right? That we're like, ah, I'm so confused, and it's amazing to be a teaser.
So
Yeah.
what I wanted to also come across is that even though this is about seduction, because that's a story, but seduction comes in all different formats. And I wanted the viewer to feel whether they're being seduced by drugs, whether they're being seduced by gambling, whether they're seduced by women, that why people get drawn in and how hard it is to get out. Do you think we're able to do that, Russell?
So we can get out.
Now, how hard it is to get out once you're in that door.
Without a doubt, these things are so powerful in our lives and sometimes in the lives of the people we love, friends, family, and we see it how gripping it is to them. I think it's possible to get out with help and with your own self-determination, but not always. Because sometimes these vices, whether it be drugs, gambling, sex addiction, anything, are again just so strong that you don't see that door to get out of it. It's just overwhelming, which is difficult. But I think
There-
some people are capable to do it.
You've been a very successful actor and for one period of time. And I mean, the acting, when you start moving up the ladder, I'm sure people throw things in your face that maybe aren't the best things to do and say, whatever it be. Have you been able to avoid it as much as you want to? And how have you at times and how haven't you? You know, if you don't mind telling us, because that's something we all battle.
I take the fifth. No, no, look, I was a model in New York in the 80s. It was a great time of, excess of the 80s in New York City. And I survived all that. I survived, just the craziness of Hollywood. Um, I've been
And you
very
see a lot of people, and some don't, and some of your friends probably did, and some of
and
you,
believe me, many haven't, and I've seen them, fall victim to many things. But I'm lucky I don't have an addictive nature. So I've always been very lucky that I'm able to persevere and move forward and not fall. We've all fallen at some time, but I've been able to get back up and be fine. So
how
I've
about
been,
you, Paul? Have you? I mean, you're still young in the career, but I'm sure that there are a lot of temptations, especially being a lovely looking woman, and people telling you get a role if you do blah blah blah, and this whole thing. I mean, it's probably a little hard too in that realm. Would you say?
oh yeah, I mean, in the 80s,
No, no,
90s,
it doesn't. No, that's Paula.
I
You
was
get,
offered the casting couch,
you're a lovely looking woman too, but
like
Let
everyone.
Russell answer first. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I was offered the casting couch a number of times throughout my career. I never took it. I don't want that route, and I never will. But it was there,
it
That
was
was
there. That was there in those days. That was there. Even for I see that's funny you mentioned because I really was offering that to Paula, but I guess it happens to men too,
oh
where
yeah,
they're offered the same thing, and I mean it can be either way.
yes,
And they tell you you're going to get a great job, and wow. So
yeah.
Paula, how about you? That's interesting.
As I was mentioning, I grew up in a doctor's family. So I grew up like, no drugs, no alcohol. It was like a really healthy family. And I was raised always in a very good mindset of being healthy and fitness. So I actually never done like drugs, alcohol. It's never been like something that I've been at risk. Like I just don't care for it. And then I grew up in like I'm a Colombian woman, I'm a Mexican Colombian woman and Latina, and Latin women were recognized that we have a strong temper and a strong drive. And my mom raised me like that, and she always taught me how to speak up for myself with a lot of grace. So I'm very good at saying no when I don't want to do something with grace, but very like how do I say this? Like just really like stepping a foot like hard, like very consistent and very like I think I'm a person that I always had this personality since I was like 17 years old, and like the cool kids wanted to like do this or do that. Or even when I started in this industry, there are a lot of shortcuts that people unfortunately take. And I was always like, I want to be proud of myself. I want to look at myself in the mirror and know that I got where I am the right way. And sometimes it's the longest way, but it's the way that you're the most proud of. And beyond having numbers, having money, having fame, is how proud are you of yourself? and how you got there. And I think that has always been my drive. I do actually have an addictive personality. I'm the kind of person that I go and I eat somewhere and I really like that dish and I want to come back the next day and I want to come back the next day. So I just stay away of any addiction because I do, or like if I taste sugar, then I want sugar all the time. Like I
What's your
am the
favorite
most
food?
addictive person ever. So I try to be like in the complete other side of the spectrum. And I also think that I make ambition and success my addiction, and addicted to just being better. So I work out a lot. I'm always on a diet, and people are like, "Oh my God, Paola, you're like a machine." But it's because I do have that personality. So I just put it in the most positive way I can, and it's just working out every day, working out for 2 hours, reading, studying, this class, this class. It's just like I always been like that. I maybe like an overachiever. And I think when you have that personality and whoever is listening and can relate to this, the best thing you can do is just focus on putting on all the positive things you can do. Because if not, you're gonna lose it like this. I know it. It's just like it takes over you. So I'm very happy that I always been part of my decisions and always learn how to say no, but with grace, because there are many ways to say no, and it's so important to always let your work speak for yourself and don't let people trigger you or get you angry because then you let them win. It's
Mhm.
better to just say no in a classy way and walk away. You have better things to do. Bye.
Like that advice. Like that advice. Russell, in terms of doing this role versus movies where you have to memorize lines and settings, and this is just right out there. How does it feel as an actor?
It's a terrific medium. I loved it. I loved working with you guys, and getting
Love talking to you.
yeah, you're in the studio. You're the only one in there, and you're recording this. And then we hear I hear you guys in the booth giving some direction, which I love, and then finding the right way to make it work. But I think it's terrific, and such a pleasure not to have to memorize. I did a soap opera for 3 years, and we would memorize just pages upon pages upon pages every single day.
What's your technique to memorize lines? What was
Well,
yours?
if you're on a show, it gets easier and easier because something in your mind is like a muscle. Suddenly, at first it's like, I'm never going to get these words. And then after about a month, they seem to jump off the page, and it's almost as if it's not instant memorization, but it's so much easier. And it's just repetitive, repetitive. But a lot of times I just like to read through, just keep reading it through over and over again, then go back and put my hand over it and try to do it one by one. But everyone is so different. I've taken memorization courses. Some have been good, some haven't. Um, it's just so personal how you're going to memorize and make it stick.
You, Paula, how would you say you'd memorize some lines?
I think as Russell was saying, it's easier once you start filming because you like get into the character and it's a muscle memory. And like, I think once you have the character down, just because you almost know what they're going to say next, it's so easy to memorize. But what I do, this is going to sound funny and cheesy. I swear this is what I do. I grab the paper and I put a paper on top of it and I go line by line and I repeat the line and I start going down, down, down. It's a technique that I learned on my acting class. And until I don't know the, let's just say first line, second line, third line, I mess up the third line. So I start first line, second line, third line. And then I go down and down and down. And that's how I memorize it. But it's the best technique. And I
I'm going to
memorize
use that.
my dialogue and the other person's dialogue. And that's just my technique.
I'm going to steal
What
that.
was the hardest? What was sorry? What was like the hardest set to work on? Like they made you do so many takes and it was like hot and uncomfortable. What was it most difficult? Like almost ready to let it go.
Hmm. Wow. Soap operas are not like that because it's move, move, move. A lot of lines, but you got to make that day, and there's so many pages, a whole, script in one day. But the toughest one, I think I did a Western with an icon, Glenn Ford. It was called Border Shootout. And so we were out, in New Mexico in, a full duster. It's probably 100 degrees, full duster, to get you ready for it, they throw dirt in your face and dirt on the duster. So you look like you've been out on the plains for, 5 days. And that was extremely difficult. Working with him
How
was great.
long? How long did it like a scene take in those type of settings?
Well, because of I die in that film for a change. But in that one, it was a slow motion scene, and the camera's tracking me coming out of this this adobe and along this fence, and then I say some lines and I pull my gun and we go into a gun battle, and it's all in slow motion, but you're doing it in actual time, of course. And I fall on the ground, I come back up, I shoot again. A few squibs are going off on me, exploding. So it took a long, long time, but they really wanted to get it in one take because of the squibs destroying the clothing,
Mm.
all and the blood shooting out. But it was a long, long evening. So that was one of the most difficult scenes, but one of the most rewarding and like a childhood fantasy to be
To
in
be
a
the West.
in a Western and in that garb and stuff and working with Glenn Ford.
How about you, Paula? How you had experience where it was just
It's
really true
funny.
shooting?
Maybe it is. Sorry, I interrupted. It's funny. It's maybe the hardest for actors because my experience is exactly the same. It wasn't a Western. It was like an action film that the one I mentioned earlier that I played the lead. Her name is Alexandra, and he's an undercover police officer. Same. We shot in Tijuana and so much dust coming at my face. And then I had to shoot somebody, and then somebody shoots me, and it's so much action, the choreography, and then remembering the dialogue, and then of course I'm the lead, so I have to look like badass while I'm doing it. Then I'm crying because the dust in my eyes is killing me. My ears are like beeping from how much I'm shooting. And then the director is like, but just say your lines and make it powerful and look hot.
A lot of things there.
And I did that for like 12 hours a day for 3 months. I lost like
Wow.
20 pounds on that set. By the
That's
end of the
that's
set, my mom was like, please take a vacation. I beg you to take a vacation. But I think it is the most challenging for any actor to be in those conditions.
well, 3 months. 3 months is unbelievable. So how long have you worked on one film for, like yourself?
Never 3 months for a film. Usually, maybe 2 months max would be it. The
And
soap
then
opera.
during that
What's
and
that?
during that time of 2 months, they basically put you up in a hotel and you basically just live like with everybody else. You're just hanging out with everybody. I guess
Yeah.
you'll become like friends and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's wonderful about if it's on location. It's not always on location. I did Chopping Mall here at the Sherman Oaks Galleria, and we blew it up every night for like 4 or 5 weeks for this robot movie. But if you're on location, you're getting per diem, housing, transportation, all sorts of stuff, and you really do bond with the other actors more because you are away from what you're used to at home. So you have a chance. When you're not shooting, you're going out maybe with the other actors to the gym or to a restaurant or just hanging out and talking. So location is a very different beast than working local home.
I love working on location because I think how I see it is like back to high school. You see
Yeah,
friends every day, you work
yeah.
together, study together, you work together, and you start filming at the same time, finish at the same time, go back to the same hotel, eat in the same restaurant, go to the gym, and it just becomes like my friends from high school. And I try to do like a group chat of every set I'm on with my friends from that set and have pictures and memories because at the end of the day, I always think that winning an award, winning an Oscar, obviously amazing, but it's one day. The real journey is the 3 months or 2 months or whatever it was shooting the project. And I think when I've been on premieres of my projects, the my co-stars, the directors always come back to me. Oh, remember this? I remember when this person, I don't know, fall. I remember when this person said this. And remember this joke. And I think it's just the humanity of it. Like it's just like those adventures on set and like the families you develop and the stories that you tell. It's just it's part of the journey.
I agree with you, Paula.
Great. Well,
Excuse me, I'm sorry, but it's so
look,
true. It's the moments making the projects and the bonds and the relationships and the thrills of making a scene work. And everything beyond that, the release of the film, whether it's received well or not, is all gravy. But the actual joy and real, pleasure is the actual production and being with those people. I agree with you. Yeah.
okay, we're going to come back with I have a little commercial interruption. I'm going to ask a very interesting question, I promise you. Plus, we're going to have some weird facts. I'm going to get to the other fun stuff. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back now. I got to ask you this question. Have you ever been on a set where you like know the movie's going to be or the show's going to be a flop? Just feel it.
Uh, wow.
You don't have to tell me the movie if you feel
Maybe
bad about it.
James
You
Russell.
just know it's off.
You go, Paul.
Um, let me think. Honestly, no. Uh, no, I think I've been very lucky and I'm good at trusting the process and I'm good at trusting my directors. I work with fantastic directors like David Ayer. or the guys from Boulders, Julian Farino, and like it's just the teams around it is they're so good at what they do. It's actually been the opposite. I'm always taking notes from the producer, from the director, from the other actors, learning so much. I did a movie with David Ayer called Tax Collector, and Shia LaBeouf is on it. So I feel like I'm always very lucky to work with like top talent. Russell is included on that list, and take notes from all of them. It's more actually I'm like a sponge absorbing. Mm-hmm.
All right, Russell, she's throwing everything on you. Come on, give us that one you knew was a bomb.
No, I'm gonna have to agree with Paula.
Oh my God.
I'll take a film like Friday the 13th Part Two. You're making this film. I saw the first one. I thought, oh, this
How
is
many? What? How much did you do? All the Friday 13s?
no. I did Part Two, and of course, I die. But so I can't be in the rest. But you do a film like that, or like any other film, and you just think you're doing a project and it's done. You have no idea what kind of legs it might have, and that turned into a gigantic franchise with 12 films. So it's gone on in perpetuity. The fans are amazing. They never give up on this film. But during it, you don't know if it's going to really be a bomb or not. And whatever the critics said about it, it continues to live and have an incredible life with the fans.
I want to add
What?
something to what Russell just said, excuse me, that I think is very important, and it's a little bit inspirational about trusting the journey. When I did Tax Collector, I mean, I knew it was going to be great, the team around it, but then pandemic happened. And we didn't know what was happening. And, remember coronavirus, like before COVID, and we're like, we're all going to die. And I was like, oh, and this movie hasn't come out yet. Of course, they do a movie with David Ayer and Shia LaBeouf, and now pandemic, and we're gonna die, and nobody's gonna see it. And human worries, right? Anxiety. And I was like, I can't believe my luck. I didn't remember thinking I have the worst luck, and this and that. And then the movie came out, and because it was pandemic, it was number one for weeks and weeks and weeks and months because everybody was home watching it, and it was fantastic. And as Russell said, it becomes like boom. My point with that is, it's just I think it's been the opposite. It's been such a good experience that even when I thought it was gonna fail, not because of the movie, but because pandemic or something, it just went like this. During pandemic, I executive produced a movie called Birthday Cake with Ian McGregor, William Fichtner, Penn Badgley. Same. It's like pandemic, difficult times. The budget went a little higher than we thought, but then it came out to be amazing. So sometimes even challenges of life are there. You just have to trust it, and it comes out great.
Okay, I got some weird facts. Are you ready for some weird facts?
I
Okay.
Here's
think.
one interesting fact. In Thailand, right? There are people in Thailand that get dressed up as Mexican gangsters. They wear the clothes, they have the tattoos. I don't know how it came from Thailand that became a popular thing with some people.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and I mean it's totally unrelated to this, but this K-pop thing that's
Oh yeah.
happening in the United States, it's getting so popular. I think sometimes we want to get to certain cultures. And we move to like even I don't know what they call it, culture appropriation thing. But we all like one things are really popular, but I guess it does like underground type movements, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's interesting.
Okay, in ancient Egypt, guess what the name of a cat was called? This is very funny.
A name of a cat. Um,
This is the easiest thing I've ever told anybody. You want to guess? Paula? Come on, easy one. I guarantee these.
I'm obsessed with Egypt and Cleopatra. And
Nefertiti.
Okay, it is called Meow.
come
That
on.
was a tough one, but
I told you that's the easiest one you're ever gonna get. I wanted us, I got one a little serious here. We just had a school shooting, and it just happened again. I don't know. I try to look at things based on what happened in the past. When they were guns before, they were kids before, and they were like, what is the difference that is causing this to happen? And I hope I'm not saying anything in the offends anybody, but I'd love to know the difference. But I think there's two T's you might say. One is I think if you buy a gun, maybe they should give you the incentive to get trained in using the gun so that people know about also mental health and understand if they're feeling certain ways, how to deal with it. And then, make it like almost voluntarily. But maybe that's one of the keys so they can people that can spot it can help people out that might be going through something. And then the second thing is they've taken a lot of young people and they've given them medicines, psychiatric medicines, whether it's for changing their sex or medicines for whatever. And we don't even know the consequences of some of these medicines on young people. I think that's the difference that I'm seeing. Do you see anything different that is causing these type of school shootings, and just thoughts about how we can do something about it?
Wow, that's a tough one. First, my heart goes out to everyone that was affected in this recent shooting and in all the shootings that have happened. There have been way, way too many. Um, I know it may not be the most popular opinion, but I do believe there does need to be some gun control. You know, don't, no one's looking to take away everyone's guns, but maybe, assault rifles and such. But part of it is mental issues, anger. There's so much more anger in the world right now that people are just losing it. So I think these things are not going to, well, they're definitely not going away, but I don't think they're lessening. I think they're getting worse and worse. So
See,
it is a big problem. I don't know what the true answer is.
Paula, would you like to chime in?
I think it's so sad what's going on. I think my only thoughts are always like when I hear these super young kids that got their guns from their parents, it's like, why do parents keep guns so close for kids to be able to reach to them? And then disastrous things happen because obviously they don't have the knowledge to handle something like that. So I think my first thought is just like the parenting is like parents should be more aware of these things. If you have a gun at home and you have a kid, to not be so easy for them to just have access to it, So I think there must be something on the training and something to stop all these things because it's devastating.
Yeah, and as I said before, the one thing that I noticed is the only I can think of is that, guns were always around and these guns haven't really changed that much. I just see like the amount of medicine given out to young people. And I think that without being aware of like how that's happening, we should really keep a copy of what's going on with the medicines, whether it's, as I said, whether it's psychiatric medicine or transgender medicine, just to
Yeah.
see what's going on and how it affects young people, their minds and bodies to be that way. I think that's the biggest thing, my own personal take on it. Because again, if I go back to everything else, I think when I was younger, they had video games, and when I was younger, they had crazy rock music or whatever. And
Sure.
you didn't have this. You just didn't have this stuff. And they had Halloween and they had Friday 13th. People didn't do these things. It's just like there's something different about people and that the mental. Maybe I know COVID had affected a lot of people being in the type of quarters, but I just think the amount of maybe medicine at young people is what is happening. And I think you just have to look into seeing that. Okay,
Mhm.
so now we'll talk about fun hate things, not positive, negative things. So things that I hate: finding my account number on a statement. It's like everywhere, every other number I can find, but an account number on your statement is like the most annoying thing. Am I like the only one who thinks that way?
What do you mean, trying to locate it?
Yes, try to
Yeah.
locate it. Yes.
Yeah, it's so true.
It's like it should be like the biggest letter it should be. Instead, it's like the small print on the bottom of it. You have to find it.
Yeah, I agree. I've had that happen to me too. Like, where the hell is this? It should be the largest thing on here, so I don't have to worry about finding it. But for some reason, they don't think that way.
And the other thing I hate is weather reports because they are like so wrong, and they don't even care. They don't even say like, "Oh, I made a mistake." They just like go the next day, and we still listen to them. It doesn't make a difference. It's like the best weather puts your hand out to the door. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but California's probably weather's always perfect almost. It's really hard, other than when it has like these things, but 70, 72, 73. It's probably easier than New York, I think. But
Yeah,
generally, these
it's
weather
funny.
reports are so wrong.
Yeah, I've always make the joke that being a weatherman is the only job in the world where you can be wrong every day and you keep your job.
It's
Because,
amazing, right?
yeah.
Paul, do you have is the weather reporting any better in any other
It
your
definitely has affected, especially I still do modeling, but when I was doing modeling full time, it was like, we plan a photo shoot outside and then it said one weather and then we go and it's like raining. We're like, what? And as you said, but nobody apologizes about it. Nobody cares. We just have to suck it up and go.
Exactly.
and we listen, and we were stupid enough to listen the next day. We're just like, yeah, we got to hear this. Like they're gonna know what they're gonna do. Next day they're gonna figure it out. Okay,
Yeah.
here's a weird thought. Here's a weird thought that I've pondered in my head. People that like to smoke really don't like to smoke because they take half the time and hold it in their hands. And they don't smoke it. I mean, it's like having a steak, right? And eating the steak and then leaving it until it gets like frozen. And then, maybe have another piece. I don't understand this. If you like smoking, why wouldn't you put it in your mouth the whole time? I don't get the whole
I think people
half
see
the
it as
time.
they see it as sexy and then holding that cigarette. Look, we've seen it in movies for
Right,
as long
holding
as
it.
we can remember how sexy it was to see Lauren Bacall holding a cigarette or Bogey. So I think a lot of people do it for that reason. And perhaps that's part of it. So it's not so much of toking on it, but that image of being seen just holding it.
I mean, I gotta hold a pen in my fingers. All I think it'll be a little annoying after a while. Paula, any comment?
I think when people have vices that have for many, many years, they even forget they have it. I feel people that maybe are smoking for a long time, they're just like so used to smoke and smoke and smoke. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just like second nature to them. So they're not thinking about smoking. They're just so used to holding
Right, holding in the hand. I mean, it's
the
like
whole
it's
thing.
weird.
It's having it on
It's
your
like there's
hand, you know? Yeah.
maybe if you want to give up smoking, you should just put a pen in your hand,
And that's
and
it. That will
that's
help.
maybe that would help.
Yeah.
Because most time you're doing that. Okay, current news. You probably told already, but Cracker Barrel, interesting marketing move, right? Did they possibly do this on purpose? Just like when I remember when I was younger, Coke became New Coke and they made Coke, old Coke again. Their stock went up. Everyone's talking about it. And now people are probably going to want to go Cracker Barrel. Was it done sort of on purpose or are they just totally stupid?
I just saw something about it, but I don't recall what it was that just happened.
Okay, so Cracker Barrel had the same logo about a guy sitting on a barrel and then has Cracker Barrel. Some reason they got rid of the guy standing on the barrel. They're going to make it. They're going to make the place look more posh. People like the idea of like going there like a southern place that they have a little country store and they feel like they're in the country, and they're going to make it posh. And there was such an outcry all the way from some guy down the street to the president. Finally, they said, you know what? We're going back to old. We're listening to you. We're going back to the old Cracker Barrel look. And I remember when I was younger, there was a whole thing with new Coke and old Coke.
Yeah.
And then they went back to the old Coke, and there was like, and I'm wondering if this was all a play to bring the stock up, or whether they really thought that their people wanted to quote change this logo. You didn't hear about this?
I did hear, but I do remember. I remember it being in the news, and it was like a blip.
Okay.
But so I don't, I didn't remember all of it. Yeah, who
I'm
knows?
just finding out. I'm
Oh yeah, well, okay. But
just
I'm very
finding out.
happy. All right. I want to ask you something, Paula. Film investments. People, very interested. You got people invest in films. Films usually very risky, but I think people they don't want as much risk. They can really invest in the final stage of filming. Tell us about film investments and anything that I was going to put that as one of my ideas as investments, but I'm curious what you think.
Yeah. I think it's very important, something we call the waterfall for the ones who don't know. And it's like where the position of your investment is going to be at. Like if I put this money, I'm going to be the first one to get paid, the middle one to get paid, the last one to get paid. There is gap, there is debt, there is equity. So I think it's important. I'm always very honest with people. Each film has its own structure. And I always take the time to explain to my investors and whoever wants to invest how the structure is and how risky the investment is and how fast are they going to get paid. And some people like risk, some people don't like risk, and I always just manage that, and I'm always very honest. And I think the beauty of sales is to custom things according to the person who's buying, right? So whoever is investing, I always pay attention that is the genre they like, is the amount of money they're comfortable putting in, and how much risk do they want. So sometimes a film could be not a fit, and I say, you know what, I don't think this film is a fit for you, but let me bring you another one that is a fit for you. And I think people appreciate that.
Well, but you say, oh, let's say I want to be involved in a film, but I want the least risk. When
Yeah.
do you invest in? At the end, middle, or the beginning?
Well, there is a very good deal when most of the money is raised and the top talent, like the A-listers, bankable actors that we call I already attached, which is the kind of movies I have. And people come like with the last money, and then they're the first one to get paid. There's also debt. There is also loans, meaning like give me the money and I for sure will pay you in 6 months the money back. And I'm getting the loan because of the pre-sales of the film. So once I get the money of the pre-sales, you're the first one to get paid. It always depends on each case scenario. But
And
I think movies that have a very good cast attached already have the tax rebates. I have a lot of money already raised, which is again the kind of movies I do, is the ones that have the less risk.
if you want to have the highest return on your investment, when do you invest? Do you invest the earliest? If you're willing to take the biggest risk, when do you usually invest?
I think it's more about how the movie performs. So it's like a good script with a good cast. not so much in like early, middle, or end. It's just how good is this movie? How good is the cast? Sometimes people make the mistake of over budgeting. So it's a movie that should be 7, 10 million, and people are like, we're gonna make this movie for 20 million. Well, that's a loss because you should do this movie for 10 million. Now you're overpaying everybody, over budgeting, and then in order to make the money back, it's crazy, right? But if you're smart and you work with a smart team, which is what I usually do, is they don't over budget and they make a good film with great cast for the decent amount, and then they make a lot of money back.
And Russell, how about you? Have you ever invested in a film yourself? Have you
No,
actually?
I have not. But what everything Paula just said is fascinating. I find the business of filmmaking really just fascinating, very interesting. I've never been invested. I've never been asked to invest in a project. Um, but again, it's truly an amazing that anything ever gets made
I
because to
just
put
find it,
all
yeah,
those things together, the producers, the money, the actors, the crew, and locations, everything has to come together. And obviously, Paula, you're doing that, which is amazing.
Paul, I give you a lot of credit because I made two productions or three of me, whatever. I never really asked anybody for money. I'm very bad about doing that. I'm always worried because I just don't know. I mean, now the whole thing is, I guess the key is to get the distribution deal made beforehand, and then you know in the movie about how to invest, you know, what you're investing in. I think it's one of the angles. And now there's so many streaming services that I don't know what's going to happen in the future. What do you feel the future of movies is? The big movies? Is it going to be just streamed out, or are we going to go back just to go to the movie theaters and generally see movies more? What do you feel,
Are you
Russell?
asking me or are you asking Russell? Russell, go ahead.
Both of you. All right, I'll go to you first.
I
What do you think,
think,
Paula? What do you think the
go ahead.
future of movies is in terms of the big movies and by calling the movie screen? Or do you think it's mostly now we're going to be seeing in streaming, so forth? How do you see it going in terms of that? And also, I think people's attention span's a lot less. So are we really going to go for the 2.5 hour movie now, or are we past that point?
Paula, you want to, or you want me?
Oh, you go first.
Okay. I
Okay,
think that, well, obviously the movie theaters are not doing as well as they used to. And I do think what you just said, Bud, is very true. You know, we're such an, people are now just used to scrolling, instant gratification, and you know everything can be seen in 30 seconds or less. So to sit through something that's 3 hours is very difficult for people. I was just in a theater the other day to see a movie, and there were 20 people in it, and it's a popular movie. And I was like, where are the people? But I love sitting in a theater still in that experience of a dark room and the light and the community emotions, people screaming or people laughing or crying together. There's nothing like it. You can't do that at home. But I think, you know, the studios made a certain decision when they started streaming everything during COVID, and people got used to that. So why should I be spending all that money? You know, now it's maybe $20 a ticket at some places and going somewhere when I can just sit in the comfort of my home and be eating food and drinking and never having to leave the house. So I think the industry is really difficult right now.
But you know, it's funny because at the same point, you have people thought like people don't want to hear long podcasts or talk, and then Joe Rogan's number one. Still, it's an interesting dichotomy. Well, how do you see this, and how do you see
I'm
his
very
future?
old school. It's funny, Russell and I, great minds think alike. No, I'm joking. I'm very old school. Since I was a child, they will take me to the movie theater when I was a child, just on the weekends because my parents were busy, and the whole week was like, I can't wait. I can't wait to go to the movies. Oh my God, oh my God. The whole week, it was just such an adventure for me, such a big event. I would like, and to this day, I just maybe because it was my childhood fun. I love going to the movies. I love going to the movies with my friends. I love going to the movies with a big group of friends. The more, the better, even if it's 10 of us, and we can talk about the movie, we can laugh together, and we can share something together. Because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of emotions and experiences. So that's how I am. However, I think the industry definitely has changed a lot. And as Bud was saying, the spam of attention, I think before we used to get scripts that were 120 pages. Now it's like 90. And like they're trying to make everything shorter and shorter and shorter just in order to get going and for people to digest things faster. I think verticals and YouTube channels are having a lot of power right now just because the new era. and the streaming services like keep like getting a lot of power. A lot of independent filmmakers are doing the movies first, and then once they have the movie, they sell it to streamers. So things definitely are changing a lot, and there is a lot of like short content out there.
It's funny also. What's old is new again. And what I mean by that is these fictional podcasts like we did, Seduction. There are so many things out there, and there's something unique because I mean, I didn't just make this. I've been listening to all these things out there. That it's something really cool about listening to something and having your mind visualize it, especially when it's done well. My father, God rest his soul, used to watch these westerns on the radio, and I guess it took you away or whatever. And that, I think there's something to that. Russell, what do you think about that in terms of like being a form of entertainment? It seems to be growing to some degree. This whole
I,
idea because we have long car rides, and sometimes it's a different way.
Yeah, and most people when they think of podcasts, I think they think of, just someone speaking and having guests on a show. But this is a serialized story that you created. And so it does give the listener an opportunity to sit there and see anything they want. You
Hmm.
know, maybe 10 people would envision Maria 10 different ways or Tony 10 different ways. So I think that's fantastic that you can sit there in your own room, your car, wherever, and just have your imagination run, your intent, you're listening to the story, you're getting the facts, but everyone's going to visualize it differently. And that's fantastic. What power that is, it's wonderful.
And they seem to be again being more and more popular. There's tons of them out there. So but the one that we did was based on a film. I mean, a film production, which we might even make it a film after this. Again, that angle, but it's an angle where a lot of people out there who are talented people do not have the means to make a film, and now you can have your creativity come out in a format that people all can enjoy, and you never know where I can go with it. So I think it's a really good way we hope to build on that as well, help other creative people out there produce their works, and in a way that's not as cost expensive as it would be with a film. And again, given the avenue of showing people what they can do, and then maybe get the monies for the film, even make it much easier in a sense also.
Yeah.
Um, and then like you said before, the viewer has their own image. And I think what I did also with Seduction with the script is I didn't make everything so obvious. Even I don't want to ruin your party with your wife, but I don't want people to know everything. I want people to like use their own imagination, what really happened. I want to give
Mhm.
everything away,
Yeah.
with film, it is all given away. There's very little. So so how do you feel about that, Paula? What do you feel about this audio podcast of fictional stories? The whole concept of
Well,
it.
first of all, I love it. And I love fictional stories, and I love letting my imagination run as an actress and as a viewer. I think, actually, what I think is that we live in LA, California, or Mexico City, these like huge cities. There is so much traffic. And what do you do when you're sitting on traffic for like 2 hours? And then you want to like just like I think a podcast is fantastic, and to
Wait,
let your
wait.
imagination run. Or when you're at home, maybe you're cleaning and you don't want to be like just on your thoughts. You want to make it like a little bit more enjoyable. So I think put it in a podcast while you're organizing things and things like that. And I just think it takes you out of that routine and the heaviness of life. And that's what I think is so
Right.
interesting. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm up to my business idea. So I'm gonna let you guys choose one, two, or three.
Hmm.
What number? You can even I don't know who's if you both think the same number, which number are you thinking? I have one, two, or three. Pick a number.
Three.
Three? Do you want to be different? Paula? You want to stay with three?
So, yeah, I was born the third, so yeah.
Okay, three. Okay. So this is one of the business idea I came across, and I'm in some way I'm trying to input it. It's called a clergy mediator. So you have a business that you want to do, but you don't really always know everybody's going to be honest and everyone's going to live up to it. So you get a clergy mediator. You get a rabbi, priest, imam to be the one basically to be in charge of it, make the money there, make sure the investment. And this person, gets paid a certain amount of fee, but you make sure they are there because usually people in the clergy, they're not going to steal the money and move away from it. What do you think about that idea?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe you had
That's
bad
that's a
experience with some
novel
clergy.
idea, bud.
What's that?
Very novel. Who knows? I think we've all seen through life that no matter what anyone does, what their occupation, there are people that will still go against that occupation and
With
surprise us
temptation.
with what actions they could take. So saying just a clergy, you never know, anyone, in any profession could not be what we expect.
See, I was looking at vest and land in maybe in Israel, but I wanted somebody to make sure that we keep all the money together and like have like a rabbi decide where it would be. So we wouldn't like, and then we pick weeks, like almost the thing. But I'm just like, who do I trust more
Yeah.
than the rabbi? He
I
may
have
bring it
a favorite
himself.
one.
And if he breaks it his vow, it looks a little bad. And you, Paula, as someone who's, pretty spiritual, how do you feel about that as well?
I think I agree with Russell. Russell and I are so old school. I
Russell
agree with
real.
Agreed.
Russell. Yeah, yeah,
So,
I think so. Like in any
all right.
industry, it's the same.
As an actor, what is your favorite movie or scene that and then question number two, if you want question number two, is who's your favorite actor, actress? Other than yourself and me.
Well, besides you and Russell,
Right.
And you.
There you go.
I I think my favorite actor is Denzel Washington since I was a child. I love his character choices, and I really like Kate Blanchett. I had the opportunity to work with her. I did a movie called Rumors that I was in Cannes Film Festival last year. I'm an executive producer on that movie, and she's an actress on it. And when I was like 11, 12 years old, I remember that I was like, oh my God, I love Denzel. I love Kate Blanchett. And I Googled which acting technique they studied, and they actually did Uta Hagen, both of them. So that's why I studied Uta Hagen. And for 4 years, I did that with my teacher. His name is Mark Durso, back in Florida, but he studied in New York. And I think it was such a full circle moment for me to like admire these actors, study their technique. And then when I did Ballers, John David Washington, Denzel Washington's son, he also studied with Hagen, of course, because of the cells. So it was just like, oh my God, me too. So my point is like they inspire me so much that I even pick my acting technique because of them. And my favorite movie, I mean, I love great classics like Memento, No Country for Old Men. But as like the little girl in me, I really like Michelle Pfeiffer on Catwoman because when I first saw that movie, I was a child and I couldn't comprehend. I was just like, wait, she's a cat, she's a woman. And my mom was, that's when she told me, like, she's an actress, okay? It's fictional, it's fake. You have to like pretend to be this and that. And I just thought that was so fascinating. I was a little girl and I was like, I want to be an actress. I want to pretend to be these crazy characters and they have powers. And I just feel that she did such a powerful woman. Angelina Jolie, I really liked all her work. She was always like so sexy and such a badass. And I think those two have really inspired me on my craft and the things I've done in my career.
And so if you had a role to play Catwoman, you'd probably be like, that would be like the top.
Oh
Can I
my
assume
God, I
that?
would love to play Catwoman and Wonder Woman too. I love Wonder Woman. I mean, I love powerful women and I love women that are independent and I moved to another country by myself. So it's just like it's really who I am.
And how about you, Russell? What actor or actress inspired you, and what movie is like you have to say top? It's like your favorite.
I think my favorite film, maybe of all time, is a foreign film that won the Academy Award called Cinema Paradiso. I don't know if you ever saw it, with one of the most
No,
beautiful
right there.
scores ever. But it was a story about a young boy who was in love with film and cinema, and he grew up in a small town in Italy, and just how it affected his life, and he grew up to be a director. And I kind of saw myself in that role, not playing it, but just in that character. And it just affected me deeply. And it's one of my favorite movies of all time. As far as actors, I started making movies as a kid because of Charlie Chaplin. I
Oh,
had all his movies on 8 millimeter, and I put them on the projector and put them on the closet door. I would project them. And I just thought it was magical watching this guy perform, and the humor, the sadness, the pathos, just everything about it captivated me. So that's really because of him that I got into the industry. So he was my favorite from back then. I guess more current. I mean, I've always been a fan of Jack Nicholson. I think Jack is terrific. He concentrated when he works. You see so much going on in his head. And even when most of the time we see him, he's very dramatic, but even in roles where he's been funny and done comedy, he's terrific. But I think Jack has been a model for a lot of actors, and has had some fantastic roles.
Two of my favorite movies, I feel, what you thought. One was Black Swan, and because to me, Black Swan, there wasn't one wasted scene. It wasn't like you're staring at rain. Everything made sense. Everything came together just perfectly to the dance. It was beautiful. And again, and another one was La La Land because it was just fun. It
It
was
was
just a
fun.
fun movie, and it inspired people, even in the industry, were really made it fun. Those are two of my favorites. I'm just curious, what do you guys think about those?
I love La La Land. Actually, the first time I saw it, I was like 20 minutes into it. I said, "What the hell is this?" And then it grew on me and grew on me. Then I went back and I saw it again in its entirety, and I loved it. It's a wonderful homage to Hollywood and Los Angeles. And a lot of people complained, well, they're not real singers, so it lost something there. But they were supposed to be real people who sang in the picture, and so I thought it was a wonderful
I think
picture.
the ending was pretty good. The ending was a pretty shocking ending. How about you, Paula? What do you think? Have you seen those movies?
Yes, Fred Berger is a friend of mine. He's the producer of La La Land, and
Oh,
he really inspired me because he told me that like it took him like 5 years to make this movie, and I
Mm.
was like, wow, somebody on your category. It took him so long, and I think as a filmmaker, it really inspired me that to be patient. And sometimes we have projects we're so passionate about, and then it doesn't happen, it doesn't come together, or even a role that we really want, it doesn't come, and it's just everything has its perfect timing. And I'm so happy that movie had such a success after all the effort he put behind it.
Yeah.
I was also gonna. I usually, I don't. I'm gonna go. So waiting for me, but I like to end with a how. Well, first of all, if people want to know more about your works, I want to know how they can touch you. Maybe they want you to think. Can you tell us all about? Can you tell us a little bit about how they can get in touch with you?
The best way is Instagram, Russell Todd LA. On there, I post things about my life, my dog Rico, my work, my past work, things I see on the internet that amuse me or inspire me that I might just repost on there. But that's probably the best way. And on there, I have like 4 projects coming out within the next year. So that's the best place to see when they'll be coming out and what they are.
And can you tell us a little about the projects coming out?
One is a project called Stiletto, which is a terrific film, and I play a bad guy in there, which was a lot of fun. Another, If It Bleeds, which is a horror picture. That's the one we talked about earlier, where I play this kind of nosy, nerdy neighbor. I play the President of the United States in another film called Sweetest Day,
I
which
can so see that. You have such a president voice. I love that.
I'm going to pardon everybody. No,
Look
no.
at that. There you go.
No, 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 no. But so that's coming out. Of course, this Seduction, this podcast, which hopefully I think is in September, is coming out.
I see it. I don't
Yeah.
quit him.
And a film, hopefully I'm going to be starting in January on the East Coast, which we'll see if it all comes together. So there's a bunch of things coming out.
All right, and Paula, can you tell us about what you got going on and how they can find out more about you?
Yes, for sure. My social media is Paola_Paulin, my name, Paola Paulin. And there you can find all the things I'm working on. Right now, I have a movie on Amazon that I mentioned before called Dark Night of the Soul, with Martin Cove and Jesse Cove. And I have this movie coming out hopefully this year that I play the lead. Her character name is Alexandra, that I play the undercover police officer. So I'm excited for that. And I'm actually bringing movies to Colombia and to New Mexico to shoot there for anybody who's interested. I'm developing a couple scripts that I want to shoot there. So I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah.
And you is that Instagram also, or are there other things out there?
Yes, I actually have a Facebook fan page that I'm very grateful about. It has 2.5 million followers, and I want to take this
Wow.
opportunity to thank everybody for supporting it. For the ones who like Facebook, it's official Paola Paulin, and you guys can go and follow my fan page.
So, Paula, since you're a little younger than me and Russell, just a few years, instead of Facebook and Instagram, is there anything else new coming out in social media that people are doing, or is it the same?
I
Anything
think
different?
right now in this seven era, everybody's very big on YouTube channels. I started mine recently. People can find me there as a Paula Paulin 2. What is it? I think it's Paula Paulin 7. I can't remember the username right now. Is there Paula Paulin 7 or Paula_Paulin? But yeah, I started my YouTube channel recently, and I think in this new era, it's a lot of YouTube content, short content, So yeah, that's another
Somebody told me that they're shooting videos like a movie,
vertical.
like yeah, vertical. That's getting more popular too. Is that
It is
correct?
getting more popular
Yeah.
the vertical format and like having like a lot of subscribers in YouTube and making like post the content on your YouTube channels.
Russell, have you been involved in any vertical content films yet?
I haven't done one yet, but I see them being filmed everywhere, including the house across the street. They're always filming a vertical over there.
That's crazy. Okay, and what dog do you have? More importantly, where is the dog? So quiet. My dogs are barking in the background if you don't notice.
He's asleep. Oh, he's asleep right over there where he always sleeps by the window so he can look out. He's a 10-year-old German Shepherd named Rico. I've only had him a year. I rescued him in downtown LA. He had was there for about 4.5 months, and no one wanted an older German Shepherd, but he's
Oh.
amazing. He's a sweet, sweet soul, and I'm so happy. We saved each other.
Aw, that's so
Do you,
cute.
do
Yeah.
you have family in the business? Your children in the industry, or anybody else in the industry?
My mom was a singer years ago in a trio in upstate New York, where my dad met her in a club, which is
Oh,
kind of cool.
funny.
But otherwise, no, two brothers, but neither one in the industry. I'm pretty much the only one.
How about you, Paul? Anybody else in the family industry? You're leading the way.
My family is back in Mexico and Colombia. They are doctors. They cannot name one actor. I literally, when I book Ballers, am I gonna be working with The Rock? And my dad was like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Oh Lord." So it's just like Grace to Russell and myself. It's been all hustle, no connections, no nothing. It's just me by myself. However, my grandma, rest in peace, she used to be an opera singer, and I think she's a badass.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. I'm gonna end on a different note because of you, Paula. I wasn't planning to say this because I think but you really brought something up that I need to follow too. And it's the word to say no to people once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while, it is important not only just to say no in a polite way, but you have to set your boundaries. It's a hard thing to do especially I don't know if you're as much a people pleaser as I am out there, but being able to say no is such an important part of life, not just when it comes to seductions, but also the idea of giving yourself space and room because people can make you feel uncomfortable at times and things are almost meant to tempt you, I guess, in some ways. So, God willing, you'll learn the word no and you'll be strong as a person. And when you say yes, they'll take you more seriously. Thank you
Yeah.
all for joining us for another exciting episode of the Bud Rebel Show. I think that's it. I don't know. I think we're about an hour. I can keep going, but I don't know what meaning went. But
I
I
think
don't want to
that's
keep talking to you.
perfect. I think
That
it
was
was fun
great.
and
We
interesting,
can keep talking. I
intense.
don't know. It seems like you're usually like at 40 minutes, but I
I'm
can keep talking. I don't know if
I'm
I can
sorry I
go up.
gave away too much. You can cut out the part if I.
Listen, cut it out. It's fine.
Okay.
We'll only let you talk for like 2 minutes. That's it. We cut it all out.
Yeah, but that
Move
was
on.
fun. It was great to see both of you.
Yes,
All right.
Russell, I'm so
If
happy
we
to
have any
finally
time,
see
wait.
you.
If we have any time, I want to put this in because I did ask the same question to Eric Roberts. So I would feel very bad if I didn't ask you this question. You ready?
Mhm.
Me? Oh, okay.
What? Both of you.
You
Ready?
go, Paolo.
No, both of you. What is the best type of pizza?
The best kind of what?
Pizza. It's a very important question.
I like thin and crusty pizza. I mean, I'm not a pizza expert, but that's my
Okay.
favorite pizza to eat.
Now, is it more important the cheese or the sauce?
I like a lot of meat on it, sausages and things on it.
Oh, so you into that. Russell?
All right. I wish that was my answer, Paul. Paula.
Oh, good. You finally disagree. Good. Okay, good.
No,
This is
I
a fight.
I would love a pizza covered in everything, but I have a stomach that hates me. So
Okay.
my pizza is usually maybe green pepper or nothing and just cheese. But I like the thick pan pizza. But I can barely do anything on it because even the sauce gets to my stomach.
Oh, so sauce is not the good thing you have. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
tomato.
I go the thin crust. Yeah, the sauce is my most important thing. If the sauce is no good, I'm ready to throw it out. It's either
Yeah.
I like the Diablo, which is a little hot, or the sweet sauce. It's fine with
No,
me.
I'm a
Which
toppings
both.
girl. I don't care about the sauce.
You
I
don't care
care
about the
about the
sauce.
toppings.
So the cheese.
Toppings.
There's a place near me where it's all cheese and it's so hot,
Yeah.
it's like burning your mouth. I don't like that.
Spicy
It's very
hot?
interesting. Like no, but this is hot. Like it's
Oh,
too
okay.
hot.
Yeah,
Like,
Like
yeah.
it's
That's
lawsuit
crazy.
hot. Like
Yeah.
lawsuit hot.
I
What's your favorite food? I don't know. I didn't ask you that. What's your favorite food you eat right now?
Mine is sushi. I
Sushi.
used to live in Miami and I got very spoiled with seafood, so I love seafood. I can eat sushi every day. I obsessed with seafood.
I think we
Is
agree
this
there,
one of your
Paola.
addictions? Okay,
Back
you
to
agree on this
agree,
too?
Russell.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you
Again,
want
we
disagreement?
agree.
Now you agree. Okay, okay. I got one more. I want to see more disagreement. Dessert. What's your
Dessert.
favorite dessert? Don't tell me
Oh my
something sweet.
God,
Tell me.
I
No, no, no,
love.
no. Don't say anything yet. I want Russell today because he's going to
Okay,
say yes
Russell,
to you.
go for it.
All
Okay,
right,
I'll
go
begin this
for it.
one.
A lot
My
of pressure
favorite
on you.
dessert is key lime pie, but it has to
Oh
be
my,
real key lime pie. It can't be one of these fake green ones. It's got to be actual key lime pie.
my
And
father used to love that key
yeah,
lime pie. There's a
fantastic.
place. There's a place in on the islands, Key Largo, where they have like a whole
I was
bunch of
about to
like
say,
different key
have you
lime
been to
pies.
Key Largo? I've been to Key Largo when I tried the Key
Oh,
Lime
oh
pie.
my gosh. It is like the movie. It's like the show. When you go there, you really feel like, I don't know, you just like on vacation. You feel like you're away. You feel like it takes your mind away totally. So what's
Nice.
your favorite dessert? Favorite
Mine
dessert?
is Nutella. I love
Oh,
Oh,
Nutella. Nobu has this Nutella.
I I cannot I cannot disagree with you more. I mean, it's like this, like Coke and Pepsi. I am the most anti-Nutella person in the world. I'm a chocolate person. It just gets me. I'm sorry, Paul. This one
You
we
are a
have to go.
chocolate person and you're not a
Yeah.
Nutella person.
No,
What
it's
is
fake.
going
It's
on?
fake. It's not real. I just can't believe this. I can't.
Okay, I
This is
have a
okay.
question. I have a question.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Okay, good.
For a birthday cake, what flavor?
I don't like these stupid birthday cake things. I'll go for chocolate chip cake. I'll go for cheesecake. I'll go for oh, I love that one. The one that's chocolate, all chocolatey. What's the one in the middle? Like a chocolate fudge, like in the middle. Like
Yeah,
Mm.
lava cake, like a
lava,
chocolate
like
lava cake.
lava. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Lava's
that
good.
too. I
Yeah,
like chocolate icing, and I like a chocolate with some sort of like chocolate, almost like
everything
almost like chocolate
melted.
pudding inside. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. But I hate this
Same.
cake
We have
cake.
the same. It's chocolate.
Okay, good.
Yay!
Okay, no, and no Nutella. Absolutely no Nutella. Coca Pepsi. While you're on that, Coca Pepsi.
No soda.
No
None at all.
Also,
sodas. We're
no, you like
actors.
you don't drink. I got it. You don't drink it. It's not good for you. It's all you're very healthy. But yeah, I mean, don't like you never drank Coke or Pepsi. You
Yeah,
give up on it.
I've had both, but I can live without it, and I do live without it
Right?
because I know
It's
it's
smart. You're right. It's
yeah,
garbage. It's
yeah,
garbage. I agree. Except you have an upset stomach. Well, so when you have upset stomach,
true.
ginger
But
ale.
actually, ginger ale occasionally, if I really have a bad stomach, and let's say I'm at a bar or a restaurant, I'll ask for a ginger ale. But it's so rare that I'll put any soda in my system.
You know, the new thing they have, by the way, is fermented pickles. That's really good, very good for your stomach. Fermented, not
Really?
regular, fermented. Yes, for your stomach. Do you know about that, Paula?
I didn't
I'm
know
very into
that.
my
That's a
stomach.
very good, interesting
Yeah,
fact.
not the regular pickles. They're very fermented pickles. They're very good for you. Matter of fact, by the way, I'm going to be starting a cooking show probably soon. Going
Oh,
to
this
Oh,
is
do
great.
nice.
cooking. Yeah, we're going to kosher cooking. We're going to do it. The new thing. We're going to do that. But
Oh, terrific.
I'm a little bit of a foodie. I'm a little bit of a foodie, not a
You
crazy
got great
foodie, but
places in New York.
yes, we do have some really cool places. Do you have where you are Wonder near you?
I haven't heard of that. Have you, Paolo?
Okay, so Paula, so Wonder takes the restaurants, right, that are from all over an area around the world. They have Detroit pizza, they have like Carolinas, I don't know, Miami subs, whatever. They put them in one place, so you can go get Chinese food, and if your wife wants Italian food, and it's all from the best restaurants from one place.
Oh, wow. Interesting. No.
Yeah, and they're like booming it out in New York and Connecticut, and they're gonna go public soon. So
We have
it's
Italy. Do you have Italy?
I was about to say Italy. When I used to live in New York, I used to go to Italy, and I like it because you have here they have it in LA too, but I like that you can have all the options, and then each person
Yeah.
gets whatever they want.
Right.
oh, it's similar to that.
Yeah,
But
it
it's
sounds.
not. But this is all different. The top restaurants, like the top. The Detroit Pizza is one of the names. Chris's Steakhouse, like they're all in the same restaurant,
Yeah,
and you could get
that's
like
different.
each one.
Yeah,
All like the name. But I don't know how they do it. To be honest with you, I
yeah,
haven't got a clue. But I suppose you can just get everybody gets what they want. It's a crazy price. It's pretty reasonable.
that's great.
Now I don't know. Should we call Mina see what she is, or should we keep talking? Whatever you guys want. It seems like it's long, but it's fine. I like talking. This is maybe my favorite job. If I could do this for a living and actually make a living on this, I would do this every day. It's better than
I
this,
thought you
right?
are.
I'm making a living on this. This is unbelievable.
I
I'm in
think,
the building material business. There's nothing to do with this. I'm like Home
yeah,
Depot. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think we covered
So where are you
everything.
now? What's that?
Where am I
Where are you
now? I'm
now?
in LA. I'm at
Yeah,
home.
you're in LA right now. So wait, you're by the stairs.
Yeah,
That's
because it
stairs,
has
right?
the best lighting in my house.
Oh, light,
I
right?
love
Yeah, it's
that.
very good light in there.
That's great.
This is
And
the
you're in
best
the
lighting.
living room. What do you guys watch? What are you streaming now on TV? Anything good? I gotta write some shows down.
I never saw Wednesday, so I'm watching Wednesday, which is
The
very
first
funny,
season or the
very,
second
very
one?
clever. I'm actually just beginning it. I'm like episode 6 of the first season.
All right, all right. And you, Paula, what are you watching?
I'm actually reading some scripts right now that I'm developing. So
What are you watching on TV?
I'm not watching anything.
No streaming anything. Who are you
No,
listening to? The
I don't
musicians.
watch. Yeah, I listen to more music than watch TV.
Yeah,
I like Beyonce a lot, Rihanna. Yeah.
yeah. How about you? Russell, anybody, any good? Tell me any musicians?
Totally eclectic. I like everything. I'm not a big country western person, but most everything else, pop, just current
I,
stuff.
I have a campaign right now to get Shabuzi to play in the Super Bowl. It's called the big game. I'm trying to get him to play. I am so
Wow.
sick of just seeing hip hop all the
Yeah,
time
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
the Super Bowl. I think we need a little diversity. Shabuzi is awesome. I don't know if you listen to. I know you don't like say you don't like country, but Shabuzi's like totally like. I think they changed country from us a little different. It's not like rock country nowadays.
Yeah, yeah. No, I like some of it, but it just I don't gravitate toward it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna see what Mina is just for curiosity. Are you guys curious? Let me see. I'm just curious if she's fell asleep because I can end it too, but just curious. She might
That
have,
was
I never
great,
know.
bud. Thank you so much. I really
You're right.
enjoyed
Yeah, we can
speaking with
get
you.
going. It's fine if you want to keep going. All right. Thank you so much. And
Thank
yeah, we'll
you.
end it here. Thank you all for coming, and we'll
Great to see
continue to
you.
come. You're always welcome in New York. If you want to ever come
Thank
Thank
down.
you,
you.
bud. Thank
That's
you
so
Yeah,
very
nice
much.
of you.
I've been here for a long time, so you get your
Where in the
tourist
city are
spots.
you? What section of the city?
I work in the Bronx.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah.
So like I saw my friend here came in just recently. You know him, Jack. Jack was in New York. He's
Oh,
in
Jack,
Brooklyn
sure,
now.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack Cook.
yeah. So he's my so I said he should come to the Bronx because we have like a little Italy in the Bronx with old
Oh, that's
Mario's
so
in there.
nice. Thank you.
Nice.
I'll
I was
definitely
just
let
Yeah,
you
there.
know.
I was just in New
yeah. I
York
mean,
for 2 days. I'm sorry I didn't look
should have
you up.
called me. Yeah, we could have went to. There's Mario's in the Bronx has some really cool places. They have like a waterfront area, which everyone knows about. They have a nice little kosher deli. I don't know. You don't get good kosher deli anywhere else than New York. And
Best.
and then you have, and I just said to you, like Little Italy in the Bronx is so interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing. Well, we'll take you up on that. And
uh,
thank you so much for everything. And
thank
again,
you.
Yes,
what
All
you
right.
thank
did
Have
this
a
you.
great
project
night,
was
guys.
fantastic.
Pleasure.
Great to see you.
Hopefully
Bye,
on
Bye,
the
Paula.
Paula.
next one. Bye,
Okay. Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.